Okay. So today we can cover about the Grafana, which is the monitoring tool. Yesterday we have seen about the Nagios, which also open source monitoring tool. Okay. So if you little bit about aware about this Grafana, so we can just quickly check the latest version, which 11.0. Okay, 11.1.0. Then if you look at this official website, this is the for the Grafana, grafana.com. So they have different projects. Okay, so we are using the open source one. Also, it's supported by plugins and other reports also you can generate. So there are and supported applications you can see here. Okay. For Kubernetes, we will see in the future, which I'm just going to start the new batch for the project base. So as I already informed you, like if you would like to join that batch, you can join. There is no additional cost for you as you already paid for this one. Okay. So if you have a time, so you can definitely go ahead and join that batch. It's a morning one. Okay. And even if you miss or are not able to join that because of the other priorities of task or work, so definitely I have already given the access to you that main folder. Okay. So you will get automatically the all the recordings, documents and architecture diagram. So don't worry about that. So installation part. So the requirement is basically what we required before Grafana. So we required, let me type here as a prerequisites. Okay. First, you would need one EC2 instance. For this session, I just consider the Ubuntu, okay, which is 24.04 version. And then you required root access, obviously, because we need to install the packages. Then you required IAM user credential. I will let you know why we need. Because in Grafana, we configure the data source as a CloudWatch here in this session. Okay. So for that, we configure the IAM user credentials here in the Grafana dashboard as a data source. So whatever the logs metrics available in the CloudWatch, that we will automatically fetch in the Grafana dashboard. So now you might think about the when we already have a CloudWatch, then why we required Grafana dashboards, right? So the reason is basically, if let's say you are working in the project, so we required centralized monitoring system, right? Not the individual accounts. So no one can interest to log in particular AWS accounts and check the CloudWatch logs. Okay, logs or metrics. Also, the other security part is if someone want to monitor the metrics like resource utilization or something, then we need to allow the CloudWatch access, right? Ultimately, AWS access. So we don't want to give everyone AWS access unnecessary because of just to monitor the resources. So for that also we required Grafana as a centralized monitoring system where we can easily give the Grafana access. Okay, so we don't need to give the particular things like AWS account access unnecessary. So that be the reason. So AWS EC2 instance we require root access, IMA credentials, right? So let's see what else other required. So I have already mentioned here, so I can just remove. So now once you create the EC2 instance, okay, you already know about that, how to create the instance. So as simple as you can just create the one EC2 instance with the Ubuntu OS. Okay, Ubuntu. Once you get the EC2 instance, just log into there by using their your admin credentials. Let me try. You can use Putty or any other tool there. 148.87. Yes, correct. So you can log in with the root privileges. Then as a first requirement is you should update the OS. Okay, apt update and then apt upgrade, which will be the latest stable version. Once that is done, the second command will be upgrade, but I already executed that to the morning. So it's not required, but for you, you can just use that command. Okay. I have already mentioned here, so you don't need to worry about that. Then first we have to, as we seen yesterday for the Nagios, we need to deploy some source package, compilation, and install the dependencies package, right? To get it done, the monitoring part. So the same thing for here, we also require this package, which is the supported package for the Grafana. So you can just simply execute this command. Let me remove this. Okay. So I have already installed, so I will not install again. So once that is done, then you can just execute this command. Okay. This is just to add the key pair required for the Grafana repository. Okay. So I'm just removing the content here. Just only I'm adding the commands. So if you want to go detail, so I have already given this link here. So you can just refer. So now once that is done, you need to add this repository. Not here. Okay. Okay. And then finally, you need to again do the apt-get update. Okay. Just to update this latest repository. Once that is done, you can install the Grafana by this single command apt-get install Grafana. Okay. So which will install the latest version of the Grafana. If you want to verify after installation which Grafana version you have installed, just use this command Grafana -server -v. Okay. So it will simply shows Grafana version which is 11.1.0. Okay. And if you check the latest version of the Grafana, so you can see 11.1.0. Okay, which is the almost latest. So now the next part is these are the commands to check the Grafana service status. Okay. So by default, it will be not started. So you can just use this start command to start the Grafana service. Okay. So this is just to check the service status. It's active. That means service is working fine. If you want to check the listen port, we can use netstat command here. And you can see Grafana by default work on the 3000 port. Okay. So now the next step will be once that is complete, open security group inbound rule for port 3000. Okay, which is for Grafana, right? In the security group where you have installed the Nagios server. And Grafana default document root is USR share Grafana. As we have seen yesterday, USR local Nagios for the Nagios. But here in the Grafana case, we have a USR share Grafana. Okay. Here you will find all the configurations related to this. Okay. Now these are the installation part, not the major or complex one. Okay. As simple as. So now how we can access the Grafana from the browser. So as we know, by default port will be 3000 and what we required IP address colon 3000. So let me get the IP address of this Grafana server, which is this one. Just copy as simple as, and just let me remove this. Add here colon 3000. Okay. And just hit enter. So I have already logged in. So that's why he is not asked me to add the credentials. But in your case, or if I try in the incognito mode, let's see. By default username password is admin. Okay. I will mention here.
Sir.
Yes.
The way configure the security group 3000 the inbound rules on AWS console.
Yes, yes, AWS console. So by default username password will be admin. Okay. Once you log in, so first time as you are going to installing and setting this, he will ask about changing the password. So this step I have already completed, so I will not change one more time now. So but you can just change your password what you required, okay, based on your choice. So that is the simple process. So I will mention here default login details, username admin, okay, password admin, okay. Note, please change the password at first login, okay. Now once this is done, we need to set up the data source. What is meaning by data source is basically we know Grafana as a visualization tool where we can monitor the metrics, logs, all the stuffs. Okay. So, but how we can identify how we can let Grafana fetch the data from where as a data source, right? It can be your any Prometheus servers or any CloudWatch or any other containers, Kubernetes containers or like that. So what data source we need to attach? We need to configure that first. Okay. So in this session, I added a CloudWatch. Okay. Consider CloudWatch as a data source here. Okay. I will let you know how we can add the data source. Okay. So once this is done with login, so we can simply, you can see here because I have already completed this process. So you will see complete. Okay. But if you can click on this data source, you will see like this, add data sources. Okay. You can see there is a Prometheus, Graphite, Influx, Open. There are lots of things as a data source, Elasticsearch. Okay. Tempo, Zipkin, Grafana Pro. So there are lots of tools. Okay. MySQL, MySQL, Postgres, Azure Monitor, CloudWatch, Google Cloud. Okay. Grafana Clouds, App Dynamics, Azure. So there are Azure DevOps, Datadog. So there are lots of data source available here in the Grafana. We can configure. Okay. So now our requirement is simple. We can add as a data source CloudWatch. Okay. So I have already done here. So you can see. So how you can configure the data source here? Just click on CloudWatch. Then in this authentication provider, you have these options: AWS SDK default, access key and secret key, credentials file. Okay. So in this case, I use access key and secret key. Then create IAM user with only CloudWatch access. Okay. Not the full access. I mean administrator access. Only give the CloudWatch access. Okay. Because we required only CloudWatch data, not the entire one account. Okay. So just give the CloudWatch permission. Okay. Generate, create access key and secret access key. Right. So once I hope you already done with that practice, like in AWS console, go to your IMA service, then go to your users, create one IMA users. Okay. Once that user is created, you can just simply click on the security credentials, which we already covered in this AWS session. And here you will get the options access key. Okay. So from here, as you can see, I have already created today. So, but in your case, there will be blank. So you can create the new access key here. Okay. If you click on this, you will get this like a use cases. You can select anyone, no issues, and just click on understand and next, and just click on this. So you will get the access key and secret access key. So you can just simply copy and paste here as a data source. Access key should be here, secret access key should be here. Okay, and that's it. And now just little simply straightforward, just come down and you can just save and test. But if you want to set the default region, as we have a Mumbai, I'm using Mumbai, so we have a South, AP South 1. Okay. If you are using North Virginia or something, so there might be different region code, right? So you can get the region code from your AWS accounts. Let's say you are on the global, you can see for North Virginia, US East 1, US East 2, like this. Okay. So you can add here and you can just simply test it. So once you have successfully tested, it will come as a successfully message here. Okay. You will get the successfully message here. Okay. And then if I try here, I will not save. Okay. If I try here, access key and your secret access key. Okay. Just copy and paste here. And if I want to check now, save and test, see, you can see like this successfully queried the CloudWatch. So basically Grafana will send the query to your CloudWatch. If everything is well, like permission wise, so you will get this message like this successfully queried. Okay. So once that is done, you can just now go back and just configure the dashboards. So I will show you. So for this, I am going to delete now because I have already configured. Let me go to the home page. Now we have this dashboard. So let me launch it. If I go to dashboards, you can see I have already configured one dashboard. Okay. This is for the prod server CPU utilization, but let me configure the new dashboard. Here, you can create a new dashboard, add visualization. We have a data source CloudWatch here. Okay. Now in this, just scroll down a little bit. You will see the namespaces and region will be default as we have selected Mumbai for this session. Okay. So if you want to specifically select, you can definitely go and just select, but as we have already configured in their data source, so that will be fine. Now here you have two options. You want to configure the logs, CloudWatch logs or CloudWatch metrics. Okay. So whatever things are there, I will delete this user later. Okay. No issues. CloudWatch. So whatever we are able to see in the CloudWatch, like log groups, right? So in the log groups, what we have done. So let's say if I click on this, so there might be no log stream because it's just expiry set by 1 day. It's almost deleted. So no issues. So we can try any one sample. Let me check this. Yeah, it has some data, right? Yes. So log group is lambda for the connection DB read record. Okay. So here you can just select the log, CloudWatch logs here, and you can just clear the selection. In log, you will get this option here, select log groups. So what log groups we required? Either you can search or just copy paste the name. Okay. Just copy paste here. Okay. We need to add the complete prefix anyways from the AWS. See this one and just click on that and add log groups. Okay. Now we have this query message timestamp limit. We can add 200 or something or keep. This is just a line limit basically how much line we want to print and just run the query. If everything well, so you will see the output. So here you can just add the time period. Let's say 66 months because this is not a active use cases like not a real time one. This is just a practical session which I covered last time. So that's why last 6 days, sorry, 6 hours data will not be there. So now you can see data is missing in number field. Okay, so you can just simply click on this open visualization suggestion. So you will see like this. So you have this number of visualization table here, like how you want to see in the log group. Okay, so definitely we can use this in the metrics, not the logs. We require log as a line by line. So what we can do is, let me just go with this table wise, and you can see the table format here. Okay. So now you can give the panel title here, right? Let's say prod server logs, right? Then you can just make a transparent background. Just it will be highlight, okay, here, and you will get now lots of options here. Cell type, footer, units, how you want to see the units, number or line. And you can just simply finally save it. Okay, and you can give the dashboard name. You can give like lambda logs, for example, okay, and save it. So if you can change here the time range. So in real time project, we might fetch the data like last 5 minutes, last 1 hour, 3 hour, or last 24 hours. Depend on the use cases, how much data you want to pull. Okay. So based on that, he will put the output here. Okay. So as I said, it's not a real time data. So I can consider as a 6 months. Okay. Because there is no massive data here. And if you want to check particular things, you can just simply click on that message. So basically you will redirect on the CloudWatch. But if you in same pattern, you can also check the details, because if you don't have any access, so how I can go and AWS and check. Okay. So here 3 dots, you can just simply click on view. Okay. So you will get in the detail message. And in the dashboard panel, you will get the lots of option for the editing point of view. If you click on this dashboard setting, not dashboard setting, let me check once again. If you want to make it more maximize, minimize, you will have this option here. Okay. If you put your cursor on this dashboard, you will see like this drop down small one. Okay. You can just simply maximize it or minimize it. Okay. Let me go to this edit option, and you will see lots of option here. If you want to modify or anything, there are lots of. So how you want to this look the dashboard, you can just enable and disable that. Okay. It's up to you. So there are multiple options. You can whatever you want to, how you want to configure this dashboards for the user friendly, you can just configure like this. Okay. Huh? Okay. So you will get lots of option there. You can just play around that one by one option. So same thing. If you want to save the dashboard, you can save, otherwise discard it. So this one I created morning for the CPU utilization. So let me give you one more option here. Just add new dashboard, add data visualization, and select the default data source. Now in this case, you can select the namespace EC2. Okay, EC2. Let's say you want to monitor the EC2 resource utilization. So select on that matrix. Which matrix you want to monitor? CPU utilization. Then we will have a memory utilization, right? So let me check. Okay, by default, memory utilization will not be there because we need to install the CloudWatch agent there on the particular machine, EC2 instance. That is the limitation of the AWS. For that, you have to reinstall the CloudWatch agent additionally. So that's why I just added the CPU utilization here. If you want to check more on this, or if you want to monitor, for example, load balancer, okay, ELB, and inside ELB, what metrics you want to monitor? Healthy state count, request count, unhealthy, like that. Also, you can monitor. If you want to monitor the request count, you can just simply namespace ELB matrix name request count. I mean, how much request received on the load balancer level. Statics average, fine. Now dimension, you need to select the load balancer here. So I can select load balancer name, and we have a it should select the load. Okay, let me check another option. Availability zones. Why it's not coming? Let me select here AP South 1. Okay, application ELB. Okay, request count. Then dimension, select the load balancer. Then we have this load balancer. Okay, DevOps with Namdev. So if you want to cross check, let me go to the AWS console and click on the EC2 here, the load balancer. Okay, I'm just opening in the new separate tab here, and you can see I have one load balancer here. DevOps with Namdev LB. Okay, so same thing, we will get it here. And now just click on the additional values and see what things it will show again. Target group. This is the target group. Okay, we can stop here now. Oh, let me delete as well. Okay, so we are just basically added the load balancer and target group here, and let's query the run the queries. Okay, so let's see how much output it will come. So you can see now it's basically request count, how much request generate. If you want to change the dashboard like this gog, and just change the time period last maybe 30 days, and here we can change this more options here, calculation last, or we can add is here total summary, you can see. So it's basically in last 30 days I have get the 71,000, or almost you can say 72,000 requests on my load balancer. Okay, if you want to show average, so you will see here max request in say last 30 days, or if you want to check last in last 30 days. So different options are there. Count also there. Okay, so in last 30 days unit we can add here number, or if you want to like in different format, so you can see there are different things are there. Also you can check this time series where you will get the number of requests, the data, and here where is you can check like total count, then last count, average. Okay, and time zone, if you want to set default time zone, it's up to you. I can set here Indian time zone. Now the different thing is like, so there are different UI filter options available here. You can play around that, and you can just simply save this dashboard. You can give the dashboard name like load balancer traffic, right? And just save it. Now, if I look at this, we have a three dashboard out now. So if you want to check this log one, okay, I can go and edit this one from this three dots, change, and instead of table, just select the text here. Let's see the text. It's not sorry, in text format type. It's not showing. Okay, log options also there, and just save it. So now let's see the difference. If I come to now, if I want to maximize it, just go and view it. Okay, so now see, we have just changed the dashboard, sorry, table type. Last time we used table, so that's why he's showing the two column wise, but that is not, that's not feasible. So you can see now it's showing in the text format, log format properly. If you expand this particular log, and you can see the detail error here. Okay, if you have access of this CloudWatch, you can definitely click on this link, so you will redirect to the CloudWatch. So you will see more details over there, but as a initial level, you can definitely just have a better idea here. So whatever the error you are getting in the Lambda functions or something, you will get the detail error here. Okay. Also, you can add the timestamp here. So there are lots of options available in the logs, this panel. Maybe I may just miss here, but you can just separate it like this. Okay. If you enable this timeline, you can see the time tag is added here. So like this, you can just modify how you
So,
want. Yeah.
please, how do we identify the errors and how do we rectify it? Where do we identify the errors from? We know that, okay, this is where the error is coming from. Then how do we fix the gap?
How to identify error.
Yes, like if you run the like the lambda function or EC2 or microservice that we configured on
Mhm.
this Grafana, like the CloudWatch. So now, if we have any trigger from Grafana, is it going to indicate CloudWatch, and CloudWatch will analyze all the errors that we need to fix the gap with?
Alert you can set up in CloudWatch as well. Like these, so Grafana, we are just fetching the data from the CloudWatch basically for the matrix. Matrix means your CPU utilization, memory utilization, like that, and your logs. So the benefit is you don't need to go every time and to the AWS console and check the logs there. So that's the
Oh,
benefit. So, and the other thing is like in CloudWatch, you can set up the email alerts. Like you can use SNS topic for that, and you can set up the alerts over there.
okay. Just for flexibility sake, that's why we're using Grafana.
Yeah, you can monitor easily here logs and dashboard as well. Uh, Resource utilization like this. This is
Okay.
for the CPU utilization, right? So you can see like this. You can maximize and minimize this based on your choice, and you can just change the time frame here. So this server I just created recently, so obviously data will not be there in the longer history. But in your case, like for real-time cases, there might be a stable really servers, so you will get the proper data there. And if you want to maximize it, just drag and drop there, like, maximize it. You can see the exact timeline here. Any other questions in this data source aggregation or dashboard creation? You can also set up the alert rules as well here, but that you need to define the rules and other stuffs, contact points. But we have already uh, things available in the CloudWatch, so we can use that SNS topics there to send the notification. Or if you want to configure from here, you can configure as well. So you can just install this and play around. So you will get lots of good option here, plugins and authentication mechanism, other details, data source. So lots of things are there. As of now, I have added only data source, but in going forward, which I am taking the project from the next week, so I might be have added the Prometheus there, and for the other stuffs like Kubernetes pod container like that. Okay, so you will definitely get those video as well in future once that batch started as addition. So we don't need to worry about this all the stuffs. Only we require CloudWatch and your Prometheus. So when you have a practice, you can just definitely try these two data sources. So at least for now, you can just try to test on this CloudWatch. Okay, just follow the steps which I covered here, and access key and secret key you will generate there. Okay, so let me delete from here as it's a recorded session, and definitely I'm just going to delete this user now. Okay, I can simply delete. Once you also completed with your project, you can just delete the all the resources which you have created. Okay. If you want to separate with the folders, you can just create folder as well here, like your dev, uh, this is dev. And if you want to move this all the dashboard to there you can just move it. Move, select folder, dev, move it. Okay. Same thing you can configure for the, for example, test, production, like this. So you can basically segregate the dashboards in environment wise. So you can just try with this practicals. I will share this notes after this session completed. Okay. And if you have any questions, just let me know. If anywhere you are stucking or like command not works or any dependency issues or service not able to start any issues during the practice, so just let me know with the screenshots so I can just guide accordingly. Yeah, I think that's all for the today's session as a part of the monitoring. Okay. So let me
So when is the project going to get started? Next week?
project batch. Yes, let me stop the recording.